The day has finally come. I've registered for the Arizona Trail 800 mountain bike race, the longest single-track mountain bike race in the world. Signing up is the easy part, but what comes next is the meat of my bikepacking sandwich. Planning, packing, and a year of consistent pedaling will be my ticket to success. Oh, and did I mention, I have to carry my bike on my backpack 21 miles to the bottom of the Grand Canyon and back up the other side as part of the fun? Ugh. Hey guys, it's Dylan with The Seasoned Bikepacker, where I share unbiased reviews, tips, tricks, and general information about bikepacking gear, routes, and strategies. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button and share with your friends. When I started to put this on paper, I realized there isn't much difference between my 300 and 800 mile bikepacking kit. Go check out my video here for a jump start. Today I'll cover the gear, logistical, and strategic changes I'll be making for the specific challenges presented by the length and terrain of this course. As usual, I'll have my gear pack list Google Sheet here and in the description below. I've made the sheet even more comprehensive by including links for everything and adding my additional gear like shoes and apparel. It will be everything I start with on my bike and body. Stick around till the end and I'll give you my top 5 Arizona Trail Race tips I've gathered from endurance bikepacking veterans. If you want to do some track leaders dot watching and cheer me on in spirit, I've posted the race tracker link in the description. The grand depart is October 20th at 7 a.m. All other links are going to be in the description below, and if you think I've missed something or have a pro tip, let me know. The Arizona Trail mountain bike race has 2 distances, 300 miles and 837 miles. I completed an independent time trial of the 300 mile course in March of 2020, and it served as a great recon and scouting trip for what is now the first big chunk of my race. The 837 mile route has about 100,000 feet of climbing, starts at the US-Mexico border, Monument 103, and ends at the Utah border on the north edge of the state. What makes this race unique is the mandatory 21-mile portage across the Grand Canyon, where your tires can't touch the ground since bikes are strictly prohibited in the canyon. So you carry. More on this later. The remote nature of this route also makes it extremely challenging. Access to water and resupply can be variable, but generally there is reliable water about every 60 miles and food every 100 miles. I tested these distances with success on the Pinions and Pines bikepacking event and feel confident my system that worked there will serve me well here. The largest resupply stops are Oracle at 200, Gold Canyon at 330, Payson at 451, Flagstaff at 594, and Tucson at 696 miles. I'm planning to run the same rig I've been riding for years now. A 2018 Motobikane Phantom Titanium 29er hardtail with a Fox Stepcast 120mm fork. Only a few changes. I replaced my old Frankenstein Sunrace 50-tooth drivetrain with a proper Shimano XT 1x12 with a wolf tooth front chainring, so it's nice and quiet now on long rides with less need for lube. For tires, I'll be running my Maxxis Recon Race 2.35s front and rear. My budget level KS E10 seat post was getting sluggish and has been put through its paces, so I decided to upgrade to a P&W Components Cascade 125mm dropper. This bad boy has a lifetime warranty, so it's perfect for the bikepacking abuse. My bike bags are close to the same setup as last few races. Revelet front harness with a dry bag, Revelet front pouch and feed bags, J-Packs footlong, a Revelet jerry can with a little modification to fit the P&W dropper, and as always, no seat bag, only a tool wrap. In the front triangle is my dispersed bikepacking gear ultralight frame bag with a 3-liter Apidura frame bag bladder. You can check out a full video review of the frame bag here and at the link in the description below. I believe the extra 3 liters in the frame bag will be crucial on this route due to the remoteness and lack of water throughout the course. My only concern is the potential for the bladder to rub on the various items inside the frame bag and on the bolt heads affixing it to the frame. So I've stuck some spare moleskin over the bolt heads, but time will tell. I'm carrying all my normal gear. The Google Sheet has it all, and the bonus items are highlighted in yellow. Waterproof socks. I went back and forth on this, and I finally decided I'd rather take the risk of carrying these 837 miles and not using them at all, rather than be on trail hiking in the snow or caught in a torrential downpour and not have them and have frozen, wet feet. They also serve multiple other purposes, like adding another layer to wear at night and an alternative pair of hiking socks for the Grand Canyon portage in case I start to develop blisters and need to change it up. an extra 2-ounce bottle of tire sealant. This is pretty standard to throw in the kit for remote long distances and mixed terrain. I've also added onto my wheel a valve end cap with an integrated valve core remover so I can get that tire sealant in there. Water purification tablets. These will be redundancy in case I have any issues with my soil water filter failing or freezing. Over the shoe gaiters. I expect there to be a significant amount of hike bike for me on this course, so I'm likely going to wear these Catula Instigators for the majority of the trip. They're super lightweight, fit tightly over my 510 Trail Cross SPD shoes, and I even forget I'm wearing them. I'm hoping keeping the rocks and debris out of my shoes will keep me a happy hiker for many miles. Batteries and charging. This strategy is split into 2 components, recharging and replacing. I have 4 items that will require recharging at some point en route at resupply stops. The Fenix PD36R bike light, the iPhone, an MP3 player, and a rear blinky light. The bike light and the phone being the most important. I plan to carry a total of 3 Fenix 21700 5000 milliamp hour batteries and run them on low for the majority of the time. And here's how I got to deciding on 3 batteries. In late October in Arizona, the sun sets at approximately 6 p.m. and rises at 7 a.m. I plan to ride until 10 p.m. every night and start at 5 a.m., which means I need about 6 hours of lighting daily. I hope to cover an average of 80 miles per day, so about 10.5 days on the trail, or a total of 63 hours of light is going to be required. The PD36R has a 26-hour runtime on low, so 3 charged batteries should yield 78 hours of runtime. Using this math, and also considering the fact that I'll recharge the batteries in Gold Canyon, Payson, and possibly Tucson, makes me feel confident I will have more than enough lighting. I considered carrying a battery bank, but it was actually heavier than simply carrying more of the Fenix 21700 batteries. For the iPhone, I'll be keeping it on airplane mode most of the time, and I'll bring my Anker 20-watt fast charger for a quick juice up during resupply. I did some testing, and I can get a 50% charge in 30 minutes. The second part of this is replacing batteries, which I'll need to do for my eTrex 30 and Spot Gen 3. A pair of lithium AA batteries will last me 2 to 3 days on my eTrex, and 4 lithium AAAs seem to last forever in the Spot. So for the start, I'll have a fresh set in both devices and carry 8 AAs and 4 AAAs. I can purchase as needed at the main resupply points. For chamois butter, I'll be using my trusty Squirrel's Nut Butter, and I plan to carry what I need until the Grand Canyon. During previous races, I've used about 1/4 ounce daily, so I plan to start with 2.5 ounces and resupply in Tucson. For self-video documentation, backup maps, and emergency bailout, I'll be taking my iPhone 14 Pro Max mounted to my handlebars with a quad lock case, an out front Pro mount, and is safely protected above my dry bag roll. I'll have the quad lock poncho weather cover and hope this provides me quick access to the phone to get some good video while also keeping it protected from the elements. My sleep strategy is don't fix what's not broken. I'm sticking to the 5-10 plan for sleep. My daily routine will be up at 4:30 a.m. and on the bike by 5, then off the bike by 10 p.m. and asleep by 10:30. This yields 6 hours of quality recovery sleep and 17 hours of moving time. I believe I can keep this routine for the duration of the trip without getting too run down and maintain a good pace throughout the day. My food strategy will vary, but I'll try to consume at least 4,000 to 5,000 calories per day using a mixture of tailwind, real food, and high sugar jams and jellies. I recently learned that 1 tablespoon of orange jam has 50 calories and 12 grams of sugar. When I run out of tailwind, I'll be looking for this at country stores and gas stations. It's easy for me to digest and packs a punch. My first main key to success is self-care, and I'm really gonna try and prioritize this during the ride. Applying sunscreen, staying hydrated, stretching for a few minutes when I wake up, applying Squirrel's Nut Butter often, putting my rain pants on in particularly overgrown or scratchy areas, and maybe even buying a comb and brushing my hair once or twice. Trying not to always feel like I'm in a hurry and trying to be thoughtful during resupply. I'll try to actively plan out my resupply list in my head as I approach the different resupply stops. The second main key to success is sticking to strategy and playing the long game. I know the best laid plans will get derailed, but if I focus on repeating things that have worked in the past, I will find success on this ride. This is a long race, and consistency is my friend. And now for the fun part, the 21-mile descent down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon and back up the other side with all your gear, food, and bike strapped to your back. People have said this is the hardest thing you'll ever do. Lucky for me, I'm not the first, and there's a wealth of knowledge on the internet and in the bikepacking community. So I've been asking around and have pulled together my top 5 Arizona trail race tips from endurance bikepacking vets, in no particular order. The front wheel is removed during the hiking, so throw a zip tie through your hub where your axle normally goes to keep those hub end caps from popping off and disappearing forever. This would be a race ender. This tip comes from Jeff Himperly, also known as El Frico. Liz Sampe recommends using trekking poles and hiking in your bike shoes, but pulling the cleats out first and safely stowing in the backpack. Also using surly junk straps to tightly secure the bike and front wheel into a nice compact package. A more general tip for bikepacking comes from Dana Ernst. He suggests fully loading up your bike exactly how you'll be riding it 1 to 2 weeks ahead of time and go out and do a few rides or commutes. Not only is it a great gear shakedown opportunity, but you'll adjust earlier to the weight, feel, and steering before the event starts. John Schilling is a huge proponent of ankle gaiters. He also recommends during the portage, you can strap your frame bag around your chest and fill it with food to keep your snacks within arm's reach. He says don't rush the hike. One trip and things could end very badly. Hike with a purpose, but always pay attention. For lighting, Chris Seistrup recommended to me the Phoenix flashlight and a 2-fish Velcro mount. This mount is very versatile and can affix to either my helmet or my handlebars, giving me some different options throughout the race to give the neck and back a rest. He also said be grateful that you get to be out there. Everyone else is at work, plugging away, and you're out on a bike ride for days. Who gets to do that? The AZTR rules state you're allowed to sparingly mail stuff ahead to post offices. So I will be mailing my Osprey Stratos 24-liter backpack to myself at the South Rim Grand Canyon Post Office, which will include the following items: carbon hiking poles, some Tailwind endurance fuel, moleskin for blisters, extra squirrel's nut butter, 3 surly junk straps, and a small plastic brake pad spacer, which I'll use to insert in between my brakes when my front wheel is off during the hike, just in case I tap my brake lever by accident. The North Rim Visitor Center is closed after the Grand Depart start in October, which means after I start the hike down the South Rim, the next resupply is back up the other side, plus about 45 miles, which will make things very interesting. Well, there you go. The planning is mostly done. Now I just need to pack, get to the start line, and start pedaling. There are so many logistics with this race, I must have missed something. So let me know in the comments. Godspeed to all the riders and anyone who attempts this in the future. Thanks for watching, and remember, plan, pack, and pedal.